Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teachers Do. Today I with me once again, Pika Shades.
Hey, and
And
I'll be
yep,
writing notes.
yep. Today we're going to be going over The Dark Knight Returns. Now, Pika does not have any plans to do it in the immediate future, but I figured, what the heck? Eventually you'll be getting to it, so why don't we just get to it ahead of time?
Yep.
So, yeah, because this is going to be another long one, and I'm pretty sure with Crisis still work going on, you don't want to deal with another double-sized one anytime soon.
Yeah. At least Crisis, the summary is written. It's
Exactly.
the review part that I still need to probably write after the whole editing is done, and then write down what happens in the movie to cover
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, my guess is you're gonna probably do Crisis, then take a break from these bigger ones, and then probably do this one eventually. Probably not for a few months, I bet.
If there are any smaller ones to do also.
No, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of smaller ones still to do. But anyway,
Yeah.
So yeah, The Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller's reworking of Batman, even though it wasn't meant to be that way. It was just meant to be a big story that ended up just exploding. Yes, the 70s is when Batman started going back to being gritty, but this is when the mainstream saw it. This is what exploded for the mainstream.
Yeah. I have also the Neil Adams, the original ones, where he also spoke about Batman being turned
I got the
into...
omnibus, the absolute edition, by the way.
Yeah, and I have this.
I used to have that. I used to have the hardcover version of that. I think there was a hardcover version. But yeah, so let's start off. Now, just to make this clear as well, Frank gets a lot of, is inked for these first 2 issues or so. But as it goes on, he starts to then ink himself, and it starts to show. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it's Klaus Jansson and Lynn Varley are also credited for this.
Yeah, Lynn Varley is the colorist, yeah. And Klaus Janson, his best inker, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we open up with The Dark Knight Returns, which that's the thing. That was just the title of the first book.
Yeah, after it goes to Hunt, Triumph, Hunt, and Fall.
Exactly. I'm just wondering who this is. Will Jung Hunt. Who the heck is this? Oh, he was an artist who was an influence for Frank Miller, who died of a sudden illness at the age of 30.
Oh.
Oh, he worked on a few books like Savage Tales.
Oh yeah, 56 to 85, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he worked on Savage Tale, Crazy Man, Marvel Fanfare, Echo of Future Past. Oh, jeez. But yeah, that's oh, sorry, he was someone that was influenced by Frank. Sorry. So obviously he was a person that Frank really took a liking to. But yeah. One thing that I want to be clear when it comes to the anime movie that always still bothered me is that we don't get the narrations in the movie, and I love the narrations.
Yeah, so something about the narration as well as it goes. Like it, depending on what kind of narration it is.
Yeah, like
it could be like in the moment or in real time, like it was in Hush. Or it could be something related to it told after the fact.
Yeah, like this whole bit. Bruce is in the middle of doing a race card. He basically even says, like, the computer crosses its own circuit and refuses to let go. I coaxed it. Basically, he's trying to go into a fiery death. He was like, this could be a good death, but not good enough. Yeah, and then we find out that, he got out of the wreckage at the last second and still won this race. And this whole racing, I don't get it, do you?
Yeah, it's
weird. Maybe
the closest thing to chases that he used to do with the original Batmobile.
I mean, the only thing I see of it is that he's showing that he has a death wish, but no death is ever good enough. That's the only thing I can think of. But just this idea of Bruce doing this still is always weird.
Looking at also, if you cherry picking something good from the Flash movie with what Affleck said, that this life had left him lonely with nothing, with pretty barely anyone with him. So could he see the life that he has now worth living anymore? But it's the whole thing that humans have the self-survival instincts that basically stop them subconsciously from committing self-deletion for the sake of YouTube.
Right. But now, obviously, then we get the famous media talking heads, which I would say, I always love this because he was ahead of his time with this. This whole idea of the media, of doing something in the comics, showing the media, because usually it's going to be a case of like, you'd have a big spread and they're just talking and it'll be talking heads, but they'll just be the two people in the shot, the bubbles doing it. Instead of here, it's like, it actually feels like what you would see on TV.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part.
The formatting is also does it very well.
Exactly. We find out about Gordon is. Yep. Go ahead.
All the small TV screens is showing them like this and going on. The detail and this also shows that Frank Miller used to, as an artist, he used to have this talent show.
But his always thing is, and this is something that always was mentioned, that Frank went to Klaus Janson because he needed someone who could actually smooth out his rough pencils.
So he drew over it, and it's you're saying.
So basically, Klaus smoothed it out. Otherwise, we would be getting the more rough stuff we'll be getting later.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because if you ever look at even the more recent stuff, like the backup stories for Dark Knight 3. When you see the ones that Frank did all on his own, it is as usual what you see in Dark Knight Strikes Again. When you see the ones that has Klaus involved, it's much smoother. It feels much more like visual, like this. So basically, it's like this. Frank does it like a leaky faucet, and Klaus is the plumber coming in to put something on the pipe to keep the water flowing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we find out here, one, Gordon is bringing death threats, but at the same time, he's also being forced into retirement because he's old. That's mainly why. He's coming up on 70. Also, the 10th anniversary of the last reported sighting of the Batman, which I do like the 10-year skip. As far as, there's not 10 years from Batman itself, but the 10 years since his last sighting. And they never really make it clear how in-universe, when we know the ages of Jim. But because we don't know his normal age in the present day, that doesn't tell us how far in the future this is. All we know is that Jim and Bruce are old farts.
Yeah, or what we could have been seen that back in the 80s as that old farts. Like nowadays we have a 70 and 60 years who are in a much better shape.
Well, yeah, but back then in the 80s, nah. But yeah. And then we have, the fact we made clear by this point, of course Jim knows. Of course he knows. But he's retired. Like, I'm grateful he survived retiring. He didn't. But Bruce Wayne is alive and well. Glad to hear that. You certainly learned to drink. Remember the old days, Bruce? That Playboy routine? You with your ginger ale, pretending it was champagne, fooling everybody? Almost. I've spoken to Dick lately. Not for 7 years, Jim. You know that. Eesh. Okay. We got about Strikes Again. I personally feel there's more to Frank Miller's Batman than we ever let on. Like, though it happens to Dick in that one, I'm pretty sure the reason why Bruce acts the way he does is because Dick is too far gone. There's no getting through to him. So it's like, why bother?
Yeah, and this version,
this was in
1986, and the Titans and Nightwing as a concept were not what they are today.
Yep. So, but this also tells you he talked to Jason after he stopped being Batman, not for 7 years. And we found out that it's been 10 years since we saw Batman.
Yeah.
But especially what happened to Jason. Again, this was before Death in the Family.
Yep.
But this ended up being okay, I'll mention when we get to it. But yeah, him then coming across Crime Alley. And again, all this film noir as talking and everything. Like, Batman was the young man. If it was revenge he was after, he's taken it. It's been 40 years since he was born. Born here. I love some of this. And then these guys are ready to mug him. But then they feel like he's into it. It's like, No, man, it looked like it. It looks like he's into it. Can't do murders when
not just the fact that into it, they could be. He would fight back if they were to try. And they are not ready for that.
And this, like I say, this comic's part where it gives me my idea of Batman being it's a balancing act. This is where I got this. Bruce is in charge, but Batman's trying to come up. He's trying to beat his way up, chisel his way through this barrier that Bruce has put. But yeah, we have again the whole idea about crime, going up when the heat does makes sense. It always has, if you ask me.
Yep.
The Joker being comatose, and this whole idea of the pop psychologist that's one of the things that hasn't aged well. Would you agree with that? The pop psychologist?
Yeah, it's well, but
because whenever I think about that now, they just think Dr. Phil, but back in the 80s, that was a bigger thing.
Yeah,
psychologist who did everything for the media attention, the glory.
Just thinking about the whole aspect of trying. Those were just their own ideas, and then try to make famous on that, and not pretty much. Did they much even care about their patients when they were trying that?
Not at all. I do think the plastic surgery guy, probably between the two of them, yes, he's impressed by his work. But I think between the two of them, he's the one who actually took it seriously, whereas the other guy, but with Harvey, this is something that we talked about when we went over a Hush, but we get the opposite. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, right now, Harvey has been fixed, and it seems to be he's fine. And see right here, you have I gotta remember the words are above the image. I do say his last kidnapping was ransoming of Siamese twins. Fitting. But yeah, Dr. Wahlberg as a psychiatrist, and Herbert Willing as the plastic surgeon. I love it. He's just there, and he just makes sure, and he looks great. But all this, Wahlberg's the one doing all the talking. He says he's jubilant. And Harvey's ready to look at the world and say, "Hey, I'm okay."
But that's according to him. It would probably be more telling if Harvey was himself speaking. Like he does in the last 2 panels down there.
You think it's Harvey.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, this guy's such a fraud, because he fell for it, because it got him what he wanted. A chance to say, "Hey, I redeemed the supervillain." But it's showing that now. The fact that I do feel Bruce here again shows Bruce had faith. Batman probably would more agree with Gordon to a point. Not as far as Gordon went. But I gotta say, Gordon's right. And his report seems overly optimistic, not to mention sloppy. But yeah, then this whole bit of Bruce falling down into the rabbit hole, and that's where the Batcave is. I like that too.
Yeah, so Batman Begins and BVS took this.
Up, and then there's Jason in the cave. Now, what do you got this whole thing about? Basically, Batman took over long enough to have Bruce shave his mustache off. I find that interesting that Bruce didn't even realize it. Of course, the fact after Dent made his statement, he then went the fact that Gordon went after his disappearance, put on APB. I'm just like, really, Gordon? Even I had to feel that was a little too much for Gordon. That's why I will agree. It is a bit of hysteria.
Kind of, yeah. As he actually even calls in the book.
Yeah, he hasn't yet. I mean, he's a but then, and of course, Hush-like.
Yeah, the inspiration that
Hush got. But then this bit, the mark of Zorro. Zorro, I should have checked the listings. I should turn it off right this second. Just a movie. That's all it is. No harm in watching a movie. You loved it so much. You loved it so much. You jumped and danced like a fool. You remember? Now this is the point where I feel like, just if you notice, that was Bruce. This is Batman.
Yeah. When he's talking in the first perspective, and then as if someone is talking to him,
reminding him.
Yeah, the voice is in his head now.
You danced like a fool. You remember? You remember that night? And then the pearls. Now, to be fair with something else, it was up until this point, it was always up in the air to the point where even Superman Batman Generations would poke about it. What killed Martha? Was it being shot or was it a bad heart? And this is the case where we get a definitive shot.
Yeah, it was.
In fact, also here's the other thing, though. People act like it was the fact that the gun was there that caused the pearls to snap. You know, from the gun, from what would happen. But then you have all these other things, all this stuff. Finally, just by seeing Zorro, Batman just starts to take over again. And I'll be honest, we don't see Bruce ever again after this.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne starts to go.
You know, it's pretty much that was his last. Think about it. If you take it this, then no harm in watching a movie is technically Bruce's last lines. Now, granted, I think Bruce is still there, but that's his last uncompromised line.
Surullista.
Yep, all of this then. Like, the time has come. You know it in your soul, for I am your soul. You cannot escape me. You are puny. You are small. You are nothing. A hollow shell. And again, all of this. Again, no one saw about Batman like this before. And Frank was looking at it like the whole thing about, like, what kind of man does this? Someone who's not well.
Yeah. This is actually something that I actually now realize. We're talking about the narration and the lack of it in the animated movie. BVS could have benefited if it had this kind of dialogue with Ben Affleck's scenes to showcase that his mentality and even showcase the moment that after the Martha moment when it was Superman saving Batman or Bruce Wayne from Batman and making him become a better person.
But here's the thing.
This is pretty much what that Batman was in that movie.
I think that's the other thing about losing the narration. I think people forget and I look down at it, but they underestimate the importance of it. It gives us Bruce's mindset that's different than the words he says or his actions.
Yeah.
Oh, we have this. Bruce, Clark, just thought you should know. I'll be out of town for the next few weeks. Way out of town. Selena, Bruce, I'm lonely. Or Harvey thanking him. But yeah, then... Oh boy, then we have, I love this. This is pretty much, it's similar to what happened with Superman, the feast. I call it, the bat feast. I love this. Straight out of nowhere this comes. And have I umbrella? Surely not. And had I my umbrella, would it be raining? Surely not. But yeah, this crazy person saying like, hey mommy, come in here where it's warm. What? But yeah, this person who's just clearly just crazy.
Yeah.
But then, chink, or this, of course. Joe and Joni, you best see with my livelihood, not my face, so please. Hey man, take it somewhere else. I don't need the grief. Shut your hairy face and drive. Dog eat dog world. And then Batman shows up. I love this all. Like, ah!
Yeah, it goes well like.
And again, this is something that I play. I mean, I've told you before about my own creative character that I had, right? I'm a character named Jetta. I had my own idea for a Dark Knight Returns story, but in that one, it set it a bit closer to a Batman Beyond type future, but basically showing that compensate for her old age, she'd be doing stuff she normally wouldn't, like dismembering people with her sword, because they're at an age where reattaching limbs is so cheap and easy. And I feel like something like this is all this gruesome stuff is Bruce compensating his age.
That would make sense.
That's how I always looked at it. But then Frank took it the other way by saying, no, this is how he always was. But I love it. He just walks to the guy, takes the money, and just rips it up.
But
seriously, just look at it with his hand. But let's look at it with his hand. It's just like ah!
Yeah, at least it goes on the palms side and not to the wrist where it would definitely cause.
Yeah.
Very excessive bleeding.
And there's Carrie Kelley, and the first time that we see them, they're walking through, and then power goes out. See they? No, it was just lightning. I just like how she's just chilled, calm girl at first. Oh boy, the mutants with their little like, come here, chicken legs. Uh-oh. Oh boy, this is also just perfect Batman.
Yeah. This
Now,
actually really look like in the first panel on this page, like how would this what kind of shape position is he on the
I
in the
think he's
shadow
in
here?
mid-fall. He's in mid-fall. Or mid-glide. But yeah, now throwing the guy up there. Now, here's the other thing. We'll bring up a bit later. Keep paying attention to the news. You would think if he actually killed someone, they would say he killed someone.
Yeah,
right? Am I right?
Supposedly, then there's the case of if someone died,
they would have said it right here.
Yeah, it would be a nameless. If we are the mutants. The thing that most of the mutants are not named, so they would have to identify the victim, and so that they could name the victim in the news, and they can just say this one random guy was found dead, and we blame Batman for it.
But instead, they just keep on saying stuff like a bat-like creature, seriously injured. They keep saying seriously injured. Like, I love this. You don't suppose? No. And 2 young children who disappeared this morning have been found unhung in a riverside warehouse. I love this. Children described it, and she's just going through it like happily, but then everyone, again, throughout this one night, all of it. Now, I love this as well. Up ahead, something weird. Kid, this ain't the time, but it's all right. What is holy? You're slowing down? Yeah, we're in for a show, kid. I love that.
Yeah,
we're in for a show, kid.
Yeah, Nolan used this, and I think those 2 cops at the opening of that in the Batman's BBS were also supposed to be a homage to these guys. Yeah,
but then of course, this should be agony. I should be a massive aching muscle, broken, spent, and unable to move. Were I an older man, I surely would. But I'm a man of 30, of 20 again. The rain on my chest is a baptism. I'm born again. Although I love this, one girl saying like it was fangs, and then Gary doesn't help by saying like 12 feet tall. Like, again, without the lights, I can see why she would think that.
And the imagination when the adrenaline is high and it's the imagination, superstitious and cowardly lot.
Exactly. Oh, and then they're using the cape to like, hey, can't see. Fine. These men are mine. You heard the man. You're crazy. I'm going in. Kid, you don't want to get in his way. Kid. Again, just showing all this stuff. And this is almost reminiscent of what happened during that time in year 1 when he's with the cops in the house. Which, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this was that house, that building. Yeah, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it was. But
it was a condemned building that no one would have probably built anything there.
Yeah.
Unless Bruce Wayne or someone else had redeveloping plans to build
soon to be built. So I would not be surprised if Frank would have it be in year 1. It was this building beforehand. But yeah, then, did you hit Mackie? Mike, did you? Mackie, yeah. But again, now to be fair, Batman didn't cause that. He did not cause that. He probably did not expect the guy to shoot down there.
Yeah.
This would not fall. I know some people want to say this would fall on Batman. It wouldn't.
No, this is pretty much something about the warehouse fight also, because as the villain, the mercs fire the gun, Batman has to somehow deflect it, and it goes here and there. It's the same. It's somewhat of a
but you get my point here, though, right? Like here, no, Batman did not cause Mackie's death.
No.
Oh, gee, everybody freeze! Rookie's safe for 5 seconds. It'll take him to find his pistol. Oh, then this whole bit. There are 7 ways in working defense from this position. 3 of them disarm with minimal contact. 3 of them kill. The other hurts. You're under arrest, mister. You've crippled that man. He's young. He'll probably walk again, but he'll stay scared. Won't you, punk? Jesus, sweet Jesus. I love it. Don't try it, kid. He's being patient with you as it is. Nice to have you back, Bats. Go to the car, kid. Fetch the payroll. I don't believe this. It isn't in the car. It's nowhere around here. bills, no end to your bad habits. Please. Bats, I saw you once back when I was working the East End. I was a rookie, like Schmuckface here. It was a long time ago. At the bank, was there a second car? Car? Yeah, an old jalopy. Didn't think you weren't supposed to. Anyway, it was a rainy night just like this. I was walking my beat. I was just a kid back then. And I saw this guy drawing a gun on. Tell Gordy we have to talk. Sure thing, Bats. But how are you supposed to get in touch with? Oh, yeah. Now I remember. This was a great scene. This felt so traditional Batman, right down to how he looks.
Yeah. It's pretty well drawn, and
it felt like
Klaus Janson made it look like this. That wasn't being intentional.
Grant, you have moments like these men are mine, which is so good, but he looks big. But here, it's traditional.
Not to mention here the seven moves, the defenses that at half or 3 kill and 3 are minimum contact disarming. So like, kill is overdoing it. Minimal contact that won't get anything done, and hurt is the one where
even if it breaks his back, his spine. But of course, the famous Batman, darling, he's back. I love that.
They said this as the part 1 movie's cliffhanger.
Which was perfect to move it there. That was the perfect place to move. For a comic, this makes sense. For the movie, that makes sense. Like I say, why the hell is Lana Lang so fat?
Good question.
They never explain that.
Not to mention, why is it Lana Lang?
Exactly.
All the people, not to mention redhead.
Probably because it'd be one of the people he could think of who could defend Bruce, a superhero.
Yeah.
Of course, you have the pro and anti, but he's hardly as dangerous as his enemies, is he? Take Harvey Dent just to pick a name. That's cute, Laura, but hardly apropos and hardly fared as troubled a soul as Harvey Dent. He certainly is trouble for his victims, was. If Dent is returning to crime, and please note I said if, it goes without saying that he's not in control of myself. And Batman is. Certainly, he knows what he's doing. He's kind of social fascist always does. Then why do you call him psychotic? Because you like to use that word for any motive that's too big for your little mind? Because he fights crime instead of perpetrating it? You don't call excessive force a crime? How about assault, fat lady, or breaking and entering? How about trying and reckless and ding? Sorry, Maury, but we're out of time. Like I said, again, the fact is, both sides have a point to a degree.
Yeah. That's a good thing that you saw that both sides have a point. But clearly you saw that which one is more on the outer side because the anti-side went for body shaming and calling.
This is like social media these days. Even when the side has a point, they'll resort to name calling.
Yeah.
And then you lose all the point. You didn't lose everything.
Yeah.
But
Frank managed to see it all the way in the 80s.
But yeah, he's like, screw the press. No more leaks, Gallagher. I'll have your head on a stick. But yeah, and then he's talking with the one guy, the guy who got the guys who got hurt earlier. Like, your client's been in and out of prison since he learned to walk. Your client fled the scene of a felony and fired on policemen with an illegal weapon. Where'd I put those cigars, Merkel? Top drawer. No loot, no robbery, Commissioner. So basically the whole idea of like, let him go. To which Gordon's like, fine. But Gordon's like, he's insured protection. You heard me, Merkel. Basically saying, okay, you want him to walk, then fine, but no protection. Yep. We got the mutant leader and everything. But then, of course, your boss left. He knew I'd track him. If he is Harvey Dent, he's a menace to every life. Now, again, he just scares the guy then falls down, and then, of course, you've got rights. Lots of rights. Sometimes I count them just to make myself feel crazy. Right now, you've got a piece of glass shoved into a major artery in your arm. Right now, you're bleeding to death. Right now, I'm the only one in the world who can get you to a hospital in time. To which I say this, how is this any different from Batman holding up someone high and threatening to drop them? It's not.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Batman, yeah, I think he's A-okay. He's kicking the right kinds of right butts. Plus, the cops ain't kicking, that's for sure. Hope he goes after the boop, next. Makes me sick. We must treat the social misoriented with rehabilitative method. We must. Oh God! Again, is it so funny how this becomes more relevant these days?
Yeah, it's fascinating to see that. It could be like a prophetic, even if you look at it with what you know today.
It's kind of like when I went over Martha Washington was Raymond long ago. Again, similar thing. Very like more relevant. Of course, yeah. The fact Carrie has these hippie, high, getting high parents and everything that we never even see them because we don't need to.
Yeah, just as that she wasn't.
Yeah.
What's the expression? Was born from a cabbage land. Cabbage.
Yeah.
Kakara.
I gotta say, one thing I do like about this, it's like Batman picking up where he left off, but then the world's catching up to him.
Yeah.
Would you look at it that way? Because if you look at it, it's all this is playing out a little grittier, but for the most part, it's a traditional Batman adventure here.
Pretty much.
Dealing with Two-Face and everything, because Two-Face is back to being what he normally does.
Yeah.
And then all the other guys giving up on you, boss. But I knew you was okay. You'd be okay. You look good. But and the fact we have to find and Welber is like already trying to say, give his defense about Harvey thinking. Of course, like, no, it's not Harvey's fault. When it's like, really? But yeah, like, I make all these kind of bombs.
He helped his own ass.
Yep. Like he helped Harvey. By the way, I haven't said yes yet. But kind of Bobs. I love the voice for Joker in the movie.
Yeah, it was
from hold on, let me look.
I remember the actor, the actor's name, and also I've been watching Person of Interest. He plays the.
He was in Lost.
Yeah, Lost and Person of Interest.
Yep. Michael Emerson.
Yeah, that's Michael Emerson.
But I'll say so. He's best for this. I'll be honest. I couldn't see Mark do this. Not with this type of voice acting, delivery.
Yeah, it's good. It also okay. So I think that between the Lost and the Person of Interest, it's good to see that he went from playing Lost someone who doesn't care about other people, just what his own ends are, and then in Person of Interest, he's someone who really wants to help people, and because he knows where people are danger. And
then he was also Zep in Saw.
Yeah.
Who the guy who forced to do stuff, but at the same time you think he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But see though, he was phenomenal in this, as the Joker in here.
Yeah.
Now here the case of Batman, he's using a gun to shoot a grappling line.
Yeah, technology was not exactly in the 80s where you could still have a grappling gun. And it was still there that you could have a batarang with a rope on it and get around that way.
The line launcher.
Yeah, or that.
Yep, but okay, so yeah, Two-Face has two choppers, the new fancy one. I miss when Two-Face did this, like the two different vehicles and everything.
Oh, but still say that this was the first part of the story is somewhere in the Silver and Bronze Age and moving to the modern age.
Yep, but I also love this. The price is $5 million. I would have made it 2, but I've got bills to pay. Which again, I feel like that shows. But I think that's an important thing that shows that Harvey isn't sticking to the 2 thing. Which tells you that I'll just say Big Bad Harv is just to go for something just to tell the difference between the 2 is more in control if he's not like he's doing the duality as a gimmick, but it's not demanding him. But and then we get introduced to the whole Magnum load. Hit me like a freight lay. Why do you think I wear a target on my chest? He was the first one to set that up. That's where the armor's the hardest.
Yeah, nowadays we don't have it anymore because the cowl is armored.
Oh yeah, the cowl is armored and everything. Yeah, But yeah, oh, great image.
Yo.
But yeah, so again, this is where we get a bit Sin City-like with the artwork, but it still works. The chopper explodes. No one else was there. But this, like I said when we went over Hush, Hush was the opposite of this, where we find out it's Dent and Big Bad Harv is taken over. And yet he's also, I think he's not as far gone like evil. He just feels like what's the point? Now both sides match.
Oh.
Basically, I think all that time has weakened Big Bad Harv.
Yeah.
Like, he still wants to commit it, but he's also tired. He's just tired.
Yeah. Yeah, and Batman sees it as the same situation as with him.
And he gives him a hug, which they didn't do in the movie.
Yeah. Surprising how also that this one panel with the shadow where he says a reflection ended up as the cover for this version I have.
Yeah. Well, it works. But yeah, again, this whole idea that fixing Harv made him worse is interesting. Yeah, it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
Well, Two-Face likes to gamble.
Exactly. Now we get the Dark Knight Triumphant. And it's coming up next, which this one is when we start to have Frank more and more doing his own stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure he did the cover here. Yeah, he did. It was just him with Len doing that. So that gives you a taste of what's to come.
Let me see. That's not here. If it's a sketch in this version.
But if you look at the very bottom. But yeah, this would be a redone cover. Like, the pose and everything.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yep. But, okay, now we open with Gordon as he's just walking through and everything, but then one of the mutants comes up to him, and he shoots him. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think this... I know Linkara went off on this, and I don't fully agree with him, but I also don't feel, if this is right, he just doesn't hold up. Would you agree with that?
Seeing it as a...
Yeah, that's how quick he just goes for just shooting the kid. And the kid
he sees the gun, someone approaching him with a gun, and pretty much... You could be just told that, and this will be probably controversial today also, that with the police instincts and the way how many different situations he's been, and he can read the body language of someone approaching him with a gun, and that person is going to shoot me. It's only the man, and I can survive if I shoot first.
Which again, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of I have something of the same situation because during my college years, I worked for 1 year as a doorman for a restaurant or a few bars and restaurants, and as a club bouncer, and all the time had to be vigilant, scan the entire place, if something is about to happen, because this is something I was taught on my first night or second night there. Everything can change in 1 second.
Exactly.
And when it does, you need to react to it, not exactly then, and not wait for it to turn into something that is something else that you need to react to when it's too late.
Exactly.
Even these days, I can't go to the bars or restaurants or something without those instincts kicking back.
I know. I do like how the mayor is this wimp and everything, but here's Carrie putting on the outfit. And again, she just sneaks on out there. Oh, yeah, Gordon is trying to kill a 17-year-old member of the mutant gang. The attacked outside, like, oh, wow. What a bring down. 17 years old. That's the other thing. 17! If there was a 13-year-old, I can understand why Linkara was upset, but it was a 17-year-old, nearly an adult.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
In Britain, if this was set in Britain, it would already be considered as an adult because they have the age of when you consider an adult as, or somewhere else. But America, in US, it's, and some most countries, it's the 18.
Oh, we're coming up on the moment. The moment that everyone shows off when they do a debate.
Yeah.
First, we get Carrie's trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. Like, oh, real good, Carrie. Some Robin, I figure. Well,
Kind of fitting that it's in a fire escape, similar to how in Batman had it in year one in the lucky amateur moment.
Actually, that wasn't the fire escape. That was this big pipe, that was for a smokestack, I believe, or a heater stack.
Those must have been fragile when.
That shouldn't hold a person's body.
Yeah, depending on what kind of persons.
Oh, here it is. They're holding this kid.
Probably it's amazing.
Yeah, the Ridley chewing gum fortune heir. Wrigley, in other words. Like the kid messed himself.
Oh.
Like, stick his butt out anywhere. And then, oh man, Grace, keep your gun on the kid. Spock, get out of the way. I said it should have gone out of the way, Spot. Like, back off, man. I'll kill the kid. Believe me, I will. Believe me. Now, why does he use a gun? It's faster than a batarang, and it's in his hand.
And not only in that situation when he's holding the other guy on a headlock, and his other hand is busy with holding the gun already. So in that sense, he can just dropping the gun and picking up a batarang is going to take too long.
Now look,
the baby will be shot then.
Now again, this was a shoulder shot. This was not a headshot. Why does everyone keep thinking it's a headshot?
It could be also because half of the panel is in black and white, as if to censor that, and the lower half with the baby has color.
You look at that bullet hole. That's not where the bullet, because there will be more blood around that bullet hole.
Yeah, it depends on also if it was shot into the shoulder area.
Yeah, but again,
there would be blood there. Not to mention, or it would be depends on where people bleed most.
Well, yeah, but here's the other thing is, people, even the director of the anime movie thought, oh yeah, he killed. To which I say, people who see that he's killed, it's more like Grant Morrison thinking Batman killed in The Killing Joke. They said something about it makes them think that, but it's not really there.
Yeah, this is something that I thought about. This is also that in case he actually killed this merc, it would depend. Yeah, it could have been reactionary, like he didn't have time to just aim the gun and shoot as quickly as possible.
Fallen to his old age, his senses aren't were up to snuff, things like that. But
not to mention if Batman doesn't use guns very much. So when he's forced to use a gun, not to mention this kind of heavy gun with one hand, the aiming could get off. That even if he did kill the merc, that could have been a legitimate accident.
Now, also notice this though. Nowhere after this did they mention he killed the person. And again, with all this media stuff, if Frank wanted to be that he killed him, he would have had him said, and when rescuing the kid, he murdered one of them or shot one of them. Notice that. You would think he was. Why
they wouldn't hide it. They would probably say that they have a confirmed kill, but they would also need to name this.
I could understand any of that in the first issue, but this one, when it's this big a case dealing with an heir's kidnapping, no, they would have mentioned if he killed the guy or not, and Frank would have brought it up. Why would Frank avoid it? Because that would just add more charges. And whenever we see the cops eventually going after him, they never list murder or manslaughter or anything as a charge. Not until what happens to Joker.
Yeah, even the Joker is something that we need to talk about those.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I love this with Carrie. That he didn't suck. But yeah, we have the Wahlberg trying to give all this whole thing about the public psyche is a vast moist membrane. Though the media and through the media, Batman has struck the membrane, a vicious blow, and it is recoil. Hence your misleading statistics. But you see, Ted, the membrane is flexible and permeable. Here, the more significant effects of the blow becomes calculable, even predictable to it. Every antisocial ad can be treated as irresponsible media input. Given this presence of such an aberrant, violent force in the media, can only the antisocial programming. Just as Harvey Dent, who's recovering steadily, thanks for asking, assumed the role of the ideological doppelganger to the Batman. But here's the thing, though. He's claiming that Harvey did it because of Batman when it's the other way around.
Surprising how no one is calling him out on it, except
Lana. That's the dumbest load of Lana, please, the network. I do like it. Then we have the guy who's representing the president is just talking out of his ass. But I love what's Lana. Like, we live in the shadow.
Hologram that it was in the strikes again.
No, this was Reagan. No. This is the guy, the advisor.
I don't remember now.
Yeah, we live in the shadow of the crime, Ted, with the unspoken understanding that we are victims of fear, of violence, of social impotence. A man has risen to show us that the power is and always has been in our hand. We are under siege. He's showing we can resist. This is, of course, when he says about what about due process and civil rights. But he said, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, Lana was all like...
Yeah, so again, showing that even Lana's not exactly in the right with her statements. Oh, and then, of course, it was tough work carrying the 220 pounds of sociopaths at the top of Gotham Towers, highest spot in the city. The scream alone is worth it. Oh, and Carrie does the boom, hey!
Yeah. Street pen those charlatans.
This was sad. This was so sad. This woman is talking about how she's had a rough life and everything. Insurance, no insurance. Surgery, no insurance. But then she feels about how someone left a big tip. Although it's just $10, but still. And she's like, what? But he was still a bit tip drunk. But then she hears her son's art teacher says he has talent, and she's thinking about that. Guy grabs it. Now we see they put a bomb in there. She just wants it back, just anything to give like a $10 paint set for her son. She then walks out there and it says, and she feels something heavy and round, like an apple in her purse. Woman explodes in subway station. This is a precursor to Sin City. This moment here.
Oh.
All the stuff that ends up ending on a cruel, dark joke punchline.
Oh.
You feel they build it up and then boom, dead.
Oh, just laconic summarization in the end.
Yeah. Oh, then we find out about this general here who had sent weapons to the for the mutants and then committed suicide. I don't know if this ended up in the movie.
Yeah, this was extended somewhat.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I was serving my mandatory service time in Finnish Defense Force when Part 1 came out, and seen the extended part at the time when I was serving, and had lieutenants and captains to get orders from. It was kind of weird to experience and go through then.
But yeah, then we see the we get that summary about the general, which it shows that this is a guy who was just desperate for money for his life's disease. Notice he's not having this guy be a bad guy. But
just someone in a situation.
Then we see about the mayor's trying to decide who to get in, and of course, like, he's available and he's black. Black's passe, Your Honor. Besides, Dale's neutral on the Batman thing. Who says I'm neutral? So yeah, and then they get Ellen Yindel. Oh, I like Ellen. She's basically how Gordon could have been in his youth.
Yeah, kind of looks like a gender-bent version of a younger Gordon.
I love that. And that basically how she's like, she is hard on Batman. She's going to want to bring him in. Oh, the mutant leader. Like, we will kill, bring him, we will purge Gotham. And then the Bat Tank. The Batmobile. That's what you called it, Dick. Like, Frank would then later say he named it.
No, the whole situation with All-Star Batman and Robin is pretty much also kind of, because this is set in the 80s, and the technology in All-Star Batman and Robin is way too advanced to be from the 80s.
You know, Batman the Cult would actually be what's referencing a bunch of riots of 15 years ago. That would be the Cult. Jim Starlin would bring in a Bat Tank, even though it looks wonky. That's what to be when this was first made.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Another thing I will.
Come out and great dinner, hon. Thanks, babe. Hey, didn't we have a kid? And that's the last we'd ever see our parents.
Yeah.
I do also like this whole idea of Batman realizing, like, he needs to make an example. Yes, he could just shoot him down, but what's that going to do? It will murder him.
That's also the whole thing about in the previous issue when he had 7 options to go to either kill as the third options, to basically do those non-result options, or this one option that actually
but he's not ready.
Results.
Oh, see, now this is we're starting to get more like he gets bigger and bigger as it goes on.
Yo,
I have to wonder, do you think Batman's using steroids to keep up his strength?
At that age, I wouldn't be surprised. Not to mention how much of that. It's probably good because we don't see how much padding he actually has under there. Because the costume itself, it could be just cloth, and under the cloth and between, and there could be some padded armor to protect him from whatever. Like we saw under the symbol, there was some padded protection.
Yep. Oh, I love that. All like, you slow, man. And he's right. He had all the time in the world. Now, people thought people thought the mutant leader was Killer Croc?
Wouldn't be surprised, but it would be more accurate to be seen that Croc would eventually become more like
him, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then of course, like the idiot starts laughing as he just keeps wailing on him, and it takes Carrie helping. And I love it. The boy Robin, the boy hostage. That's what Two-Face called you. You hated it.
Not to mention that this is what Linkara also brought up, that Robin saves Batman from being beaten up with a crowbar.
I know, ironic. But yeah, they get out of there. I love how Alpha Train's like, now just run along home. Nope. Up, and then this is where they start to bring Superman in, and basically try to say stuff like, like, I don't want you to bring him kicking and screaming. Basically, you want to say, go. There's a wild horse out there, which is Batman. Just go walk him around, have him his paces, and settle him down. Yep. I just thought, Carrie Kelley, Robin.
Yeah.
Mine's Bruce.
Yeah.
Like, sir, you're delirious, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we're just everything. This is the moment when Batman starts to change the whole story. It goes from being a traditional story to the real world is catching up. The moment Batman got beaten down is when the real world started catching up, wouldn't you say? And when Yindo was tapped.
Yeah.
Oh, let's look how the Joker is just blubbering, putting on an act for Wahlberg, because why? He knows it'll get him out.
Yeah, he saw how well it worked with Harvey, and with whatever what Harvey ended up doing, he knows to how to do exactly the same thing and not repeat Harvey's mistakes.
Exactly. Oh, geez, but yeah, Bruce would just feel like he's dying. He's not, of course, but and then you have the mayor's trying to be tough. He's trying to, and if you're like, he's got his balls, but it's gonna bite him in the ass. This another bit of a crazy bit of everything of a guy going in there. It just shows how mentally unstable he is.
Could have been Cornelius Pirk.
Yep. And then the fact that this guy goes into a place where he sees the guy's obviously very religious, warped religion. He sees a nun doing something, not right in a porno. So he just shoots it up, and it says 3 slain in Batman-inspired porn theater shootout. Then we see another guy who's then being influenced by Batman trying to go in. He gets shot. But then there's also like this other guy helps out, even says like he hears the woman scream down the street. He knows he should be afraid. Instead, he looks at the alarm system that cost him 2 months' profits, and the iron bars over his windows just makes his beautiful shop look like a prison. He can feel his pulse just below his ear. He knows he's gone crazy, but the mugger's running afraid of Pepe. Nobody is hurt badly enough for this to make the news. Again, I love this showing that the world is influenced by Batman. From the right and wrong.
This guy who dressed like a Batman, that good Nolan with the wannabe Batmans in Dark Knight.
Yeah. Then the mayor goes in there to meet with the mutant leader. I ask him if he has one more time, if he's sure he wants to go through, and he gurgles and nods. I don't know if I call it courage. Then I see something I'll take to my grave. Some idiot stops me from doing the obvious thing. Just look at that look on Gordon. He is mortified.
Yes.
But yeah, the
Not to
mayor
mention,
is
here
dead.
it's left up to the reader's imagination, and the animated movie just showed the aftermath.
Yep, yeah, the mutant leader ripped the mayor's throat out. Oh, that was great. Although we gotta remember, Bruce is naked.
Yes, it's kind of that makes it a little weird.
But I love it.
Listen, how is Carrie? How are Carrie's arms going through the like with the hugging like going like this?
I have no clue. But yeah, we have the new mayor again. You notice that guy who even suggested Yindel is still always standing behind him. But yeah, I love that they're trying to say something to Yindel. Frigid bitch, we cure her.
Yeah. Of course, they would think that.
I love it. I love how he adores, Carrie, and this makes me think back to the prelude, the prequel book he did,
Last Crusade.
Yeah, Last Crusade. The writing here really fits with Last Crusade, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about Last Crusade. It basically showed Batman what led up to him, how his mindset, how he even looked back at his reckless youth. But now, and that was when I was feeling when Bruce was more and more dominating because he felt old. But that now, whereas eventually by the end of this, Batman will be completely in charge. Here we still have a bit of Bruce, I think. Would you agree with that?
Yo, I could.
Oh, and then of course her meeting up with Gordon, which leads to the whole talking about why he does it. Oh, and then also the setup, trying to set them up. I'm Rob, I'm Dob.
Oh.
But yeah, the whole talking about what happened was Rosa, was Pearl Harbor and everything, thought it was all act. And then how eventually it's lovely. It's like, rumors are flying. We thought the Japanese had taken California, which was true. Many did. We didn't even have an army. But he came on the noise and spoke. And I just love this idea of he's just too big. And I gotta say, that is one of the best explanations of why Gordon accepts him. There are some things that are just too big.
Yeah, and you can't try to push out because
it'll make it'll make things worse. Exactly. But yeah, they're aware of because thanks to Carrie that we're to meet up. Then they allow him to get out. And this time Batman's ready. Last time he just jumped in headlong. This time he has a plan. He ain't gonna play fair. He's gonna fight literally dirty.
Yeah. Wow, he say that going through nerve centers, everything. Eyes, and everything everywhere.
Oh, I love it. He does like the right kind of cut, the type that bleeds so the blood hits his eyes. And then, of course, this isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. So he told me to stop with the leg. I don't listen to it.
Could be the Bruce telling Batman, okay, that's enough. And no.
Yeah. But yeah, now, of course, by this point, then we have it be Yindel's now taking over. Gordon's leaving, and he's basically saying, you don't know how many times I bent the rules for you, Bruce. And he doesn't. Clearly, Bruce doesn't. Which is a big difference from modern Batman. Modern Batman would know. This is the Bruce who clearly didn't know.
Oh.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. The howling.
Wolf. Yep. Next, we got the Hunt. Hunt the Dark Knight.
Yo.
I gotta say, keep it the Dark Knight Returns is fine. Oh boy, Bruno! Probably the one thing I really don't care for is Bruno here.
It's whole. What just happened? It's just there.
And connecting
no
the Joker.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't get is why connect to the Joker? I do like Bruce in this outfit. Like, thief! You thief! Thief and Levin sells this for $250. Uses it to pick up a fight.
How actually they're looking at the Bruce is supposed to be tall, and the perspective in the page makes it look like
he's hunched. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's just
hunched, and probably we're not exactly probably on his knees, but on a very hunched position to sell that to be shorter than he actually is.
Exactly. Oh, I do love this. Pull the trigger, and I'll be back for you next. Love that. Love that.
And then there's the
and then coloring's a little different. I've noticed here.
It's clear on this one page, then it becomes a little shaded or dirty on the next one.
I think Lynn was experimenting by this point.
Yeah.
You have all this stuff, and then they get a hint of a bastard, a speeding bullet. Careful now, Lola. Reminding us that Superman is not allowed to mention the media.
Strange.
But then of course Superman. Oh, this whole bit, this guy claiming like, "Oh, it's not my fault." Like, yeah, it was. The guy's really like, "I love him, you crutches." You know what I mean?
Yeah. It clearly shows pushing, reacting and pushing, and not even feeling sorry that he almost caused a man to die.
Exactly.
Someone defenseless to die.
Yep, I love it. More powerful than a locomotive? Lola, the last thing we need is trouble with the FCC.
Oh.
But then Suraj shows up, knocks out, like, "I'm busy. Tonight you just cost me hours. Tomorrow morning, my place." Now, this is where Frank is dominating the inking now. You can tell. It is painfully obvious.
Going to the previous issues and looking at going back and forth. Yeah, I can.
You could definitely tell here. Like, look at here. This is traditional Frank. All this here.
Yeah.
But then here, I think Klaus is helping out a little bit. But then you have the weird stuff like her teeth there and everything. It's like, what? Oh, this is a great image. That's a beautiful shot.
True.
Oh, I love it. It was going like, "Nice watch." And then he gives his own special speech, trying to even encourage her to still focus, to be allies with Batman. But she doesn't. Oh, the baby bombs.
Oh.
Ugh.
This is something I actually even noticed. These are bombs, or because
later we get sentient.
Yeah, that the whole thing. That where did these come from?
I had the feeling it would have made more sense if the guy was Toy Man. It's not, but he should have had to tie the Toy Man to make this work.
Ugh.
But Yindo's, of course, saying, yeah, she's going to take him down. Oh, this whole bit. I'll send Robin home. I'll help the emergency teams as best I can. I just look at that look on her face. She's horrified that she nearly died.
Yeah. Good artwork here from both Frank and if.
Superman looks great here.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly shows that. It's also refreshing because all the dark night images and scenes, and now clear as day and bright shows.
Superman, of course.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not a young man anymore, Bruce. Maybe if you learn to slow down, find your niche, but times have changed, and you, well, it's just not healthy. You'll burn yourself up. I know. You look better than you have in years, but you're going to make me come right out and say it, aren't you? I just love that smile on Bruce. It's like, Like, you don't even have to say anything. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do, Clark. These aren't the old days, Bruce. World's got no room for. It's like this, Bruce. Sooner or later, somebody's going to order me to bring you in. Somebody with authority. When that happens, Clark, may the best man win. Now, see, there's respect here. Why did he ignore the respect? And Dark Knight Strikes Again, I have to wonder if Frank was just not in his right state of mind working on that story.
Yeah, even that came around the same time. Was it in 2000? Strikes Again came out in when?
It was right. It was closing to 9/11 because 9/11 affected the rest of the story.
Yeah, so he was that would explain that it went just he was not in his right state of mind.
Right. But here's the other thing: is Frank is later stated he doesn't hate Superman. He just needs Superman to represent being another thing to step up. Like it kept escalating. What it would eventually lead to fighting Superman, who represented the government.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Your accountant and accountants wait in the West Wing, sir. Tell them I sick. Shan't have to lie. That refugee charity called. Write them a check. and the Committee of the Preservation of Obsessive Behavior in Middle-Aged Men. Write them a check. Very good, sir. Your sense of humor is as keen as ever. Now, Bruce looks good there, doesn't he?
Yeah. So what
But yeah, now we see Superman. This I do not like. Superman killing for the government? No.
Yeah, this goes a little too far.
This goes way too far.
Not even a little too far, very much too far.
Just killing people because the government told him to.
Yeah, this would make sense in the...
Injustice. Or even Injustice, he tried his hardest.
Yeah, this is too far-fetching. Like something that he probably... maybe Dark Knight Strikes Again tried to justify it somewhat in going with the...
Yeah.
With him being blackmailed by Luthor and Brainiac, but this was still a Reagan years.
Exactly. But of course we have Joker getting ready. I guess they're still sending her to school, even though her parents are just so drugged out they don't even care anymore.
Yeah, could be interesting to understand how the behind the scenes stuff went with her being made a ward when maybe could it be that behind the scenes they probably didn't tell the story like this, but they could have brought attention to how she was neglected at home. She was put into a system, and Bruce Wayne having a history of taking wards.
I'm more looking at it that they just don't think she's at home. The school does. I'm positive the school just thinks she's still at home.
Yeah, but publicly being seen going into a 55-year-old man's car.
Or however old he is.
Yeah, well, Bruce is supposed to be 55, as it's said somewhere.
You're right. But Joker's getting ready. Like, this is his big plan. And sit up straight, Robin. Yes, sir. Yeah, they're all getting ready and everything. Like, Batman, you're under arrest. I was wrong. These children don't know me. Fighting cops. It's been a while. Been 20 years. Even my so wait. Does that mean he was only Batman for 10 years? No, for 20 years. For 10 years. Because remember, he was retired for 10.
Or maybe he's not remembering.
Or maybe but
or maybe he's getting the math wrong.
Maybe, well, that'd be fair. We don't know how long he was before the cops stopped going after him.
Yeah, because it didn't exactly at the end of year one. He didn't actually get the cops and botness respect with there. If we go by Legends of the Dark Knight and show those issues showing those other year twos that were built up on year one, he was still considered an illegal vigilante that Gordon cooperated with without the plan knowing. Even the bat signal was a cloth that he taped on a searchlight that he could then take off and carry on him with a moment's notice.
Joker looks good here. And then Carrie showing her tech whiz.
Yeah.
Her being the tech whiz by reprogramming the bat plane. Or bat chopper.
Yeah.
Also, the fact is that, let's be honest, Yindel is going to soon realize she screwed up.
Wasted time on Batman when she should have had people in the audience making sure that this doesn't again happen.
Joker claiming sexual repression from Batman. I have to say, I think he meant that, this version. I think he meant that.
This version, probably, yeah.
I'm going to kill everyone in this room. Everything going on, everything is just building up. And, he's dead. The doc's dead.
Yeah.
I'm not fired. You're not fired.
Is it
I don't think I'm telling you. Do it right or you're fired.
How he kills the doctor here.
Right here.
The baby bombs did it. In the animated movie, he had one of those mugs and he just
slit his throat. I like that better, to be honest. That was the case where I liked that better.
Yeah.
If Joker just cut the crap. This I didn't care for, but in the comic. Okay, great shot, Superman, but again, he's just okay. I understand him being a government lackey because it's the only way to keep the other heroes safe. That I don't mind. And that makes sense. If it's to help everyone else, because that's become a staple since then. Someone doing stuff with the government if it meant others wouldn't be hurt.
True-ish.
To a point, but not as far as they went. Okay, what about Selena
does your version have a Superman's belt buckle? Because I see that in my version.
Nope, no buckle.
There. Huh.
Weird. But what do you think about Selena having an escort service? I think that makes sense.
World's oldest profession, and hey, if you can do it, then why trying to do something else?
Yep. Oh, then using one of the girls with the lipstick, having basically now seen how Joker is. Oh, a hollering, ma'am. 6th precinct. I love it. And she's like, what's wrong, Commissioner? Stop that man. I love that.
Well, that's actually something that Batman is. He's an old man, and he can probably still appear as an old man.
I mean, still a mask, though, but still.
Yeah, true.
But again, I do like how, Yingo's just getting in his way. Now, stuff was Gordon, like, sure, we're criminals. We've always been criminals. We have to be criminals. I get what Frank was saying. I really do, but it's dumb.
Yeah, but it's still pretty much true because they are still vigilantes, and vigilante activity is illegal activity. That still makes them criminals.
But
even if they don't act like criminals, they are breaking the law by being vigilantes.
But the length that Frank is taking it is the problem.
Yeah, you could not say that as it is, but not take it too far. But still, he's not wrong with the statement. Just
no, he's definitely
presenting it the wrong way.
Right. And unfortunately, some people take it literally.
Yeah, it's that because exactly why. Well, this is why again, better to have scripted videos and not something that are just spoken, because you end up speaking out of your turn and you can go back and you can take it back.
Yeah,
or saying something on a live interview or broadcast, and you end up not say it the right way, and it gets misinterpreted. It's pretty much that.
I will say this: what bothers me is when people use the line to then say why Batman can kill because he's a criminal. It's like that's not what he meant, you idiot.
Not to mention, even when, as I said, it's done, it can be do it as seldomly as possible. Don't make it a habit. And when you do it, show it as a case of why he doesn't do it as a habit.
Exactly. Now I do love this. Reminds me of Jim in the old days. You tried to warn me, Jim, so many times. You told me that I break too many of the important rules, that I made too many of the wrong enemies. That for all of my tricks, I've been getting by luck. It's all a game of odds, you said. All it will take is one bullet. I love that. And then I love that also. I got you like add child endangerment to the commissioner. This is Batman. The governor's life's in danger. I haven't time to save him. It's up to you. She's torn. Look at that. That look. He's like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Do I go after? Yeah. Do we go after Batman and let the governor?
Why would he
like?
He knows he wouldn't
or go save the governor and let Batman go free.
And he knows he wouldn't. He's not lying. She knows that at least.
Yeah.
She knows he's not lying to just divert. She's like, no, if he's telling me this, it's the truth. Oh, I also love this. Good soldier. Good soldier. Now, that's the other thing I'm torn on. Had she having Batman look at it like child soldiers, I'm torn. Again, more Superman building up. Oh! The kids, the Boy Scouts. They didn't have that either, I don't think.
Boys and cotton candy and And
again, Joker just
those are people she Carrie knows. Those the look on her faces.
Or at least they're her age.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that again, great shot here. Okay, I do like that one woman tackling the kid or son, I'm pretty sure, out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, are you out of your mind? I love that they like, be still, my little heart. I love that.
On the previous page, which shows that, Batman had a gun on a holster, but that as a
Again,
grappling hook now.
Another grappling hook one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that he's like, no, Joker, you're playing the wrong game. The old game. Tonight you're taking no hostages. Tonight I'm taking no prisoners. Oh, you're the Joker, right? Batman's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
Again, this is great. Oh, glanced off a rib, took some meat with it.
Oh.
Again, all of this. And you gotta kick it. Watch your language, son. Yes, sir. All this just now, of course, the influence with the Sons of Batman. That's where I start to feel like Batman is getting too big.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of being too big. This is why some stories come and gone and are then replaced with something else. Yeah, if they get too big, then eventually when they end up fizzling out, and when they fizzle out, there's nothing to take their place anymore, because all those possible follow-ups, followers, successors, they were not allowed to rise up, take their place after it.
Exactly. Oh, I'm too late for the one on the boardwalk. Too late for the two at the tunnel. Too late. Too old. The last two, Joker. My vow is bad. Don't know how long I can stay awake. But then go ahead. Batman hasn't killed anybody. Right there, spelled out.
Oh, okay, could be seen there.
But Lana flat out says he has not killed anyone.
According to himself, either.
Exactly.
Okay, now we get to the.
Sorry, I just was typing something. Oh, first, that guy getting killed by Carrie, and she's just like.
Yeah, she just.
Okay, guy died in front of her.
Died in front of her, but as a result of her trying to protect herself while.
Well, she didn't even do anything. It was his own stupidity.
Yeah. Either way, it's a horrifying experience, and it's illustrated to show how.
Yep. Oh, geez. Again, I do like the anime movie adding more dialogue here. We killed on. It happened so slowly. It happened in 5 seconds. The blade is sharp. I felt it enter my stomach. Again, these are supposed to be his inner thoughts. Yeah. But they're he's so weakened. But yeah.
He's saying somewhere that he's blacking in and out. Okay. In the movie, the Joker's regulated Batman was.
Yeah, he's ranting at him like.
And not to mention falling asleep and blacking in and out.
Yeah. But of course, but he doesn't do it. But those people see it, and I love it. And you're in trouble now. Like they're gone. The witnesses, I mean. I'm really very disappointed with you, my sweet. The moment was perfect, and you didn't have the nerve. Paralysis. Really? The fact that people still think, even people on Twitter think he killed Joker, it's like, he didn't!
That's actually something that now that we're here, I can say that.
I know about the death wish.
I don't want to say either or, but it would be better to be actually thought about that it's ambiguous, that he both did and didn't do it, and neither of them is confirmed. Like if he actually that.
Oh, you're right. Like that is in his head.
Yeah, that is his head, because the Joker's speech bubbles are the same color as his inner thought bubbles. So that
we hardly see him talk.
That while he was fighting, he, without realizing it, killed the Joker, and they saw it as it actually exactly how it was, and the Joker's voice being the same color as his speech as his thought bubbles is him trying to justify it. But either version, it never gets confirmed in the story because of, well, we get to what happens in the next issue. But it could be both. But the ambiguity of which one is it. Neither of them is confirmed.
Exactly, but the fact that people
that is better. I think that is better than confirming either or.
Exactly, but in my eyes, I always looked at it as he didn't kill him, and Joker finished it off because that feels like something Joker would do.
Yeah, and Batman would probably also understand it would be that Joker would do it too.
Just to screw him. It's like
but if he if going by the possibility that Batman actually did it, he would not probably be too out of it from the blood loss, blacking out, and just hearing what people react
he's like,
to what
he's going through. It's not what happened at all.
Yeah, Batman would have killed him, but he would not accept it, and he would just tell himself that it happened the other way.
Which is just as important. That's just as important when you think about it. The fact, because again, that's the other downside with having be Batman kills. It's like, yeah, then he just accepts. Like, no, Batman would never accept it. I think that's the other problem I had with people like Zack Snyder trying to confirm. Like, again, the whole going back to Zack, this whole idea that was what he said. You got to put Batman in a situation. My problem with that statement, I told you about this before we started. And here's my problem with what Zack said. It was basically, we want to put you in that situation, but his whole point becomes moot when he says, and then Batman kills.
Yes.
In that becomes moot.
When it said like that, it poorly.
That's basically what he's saying. He wants to put Batman in a situation where you have to choose to kill, and then we already know he has Batman kill.
Yeah, but there's also the situations where it could go on, and how the situation where he actually does kill is done in a way that showcases that why he wouldn't kill again or a second time. That's why you do that.
That's why you do it. You either do it for two reasons. You don't have him kill and prove why he doesn't kill, or you have the fallout happen with it. You don't just have it be, and then he killed and just moves on.
Yeah, in this case, it could be so that if we go by the implication that he killed and is in denial of it, it never gets explored in the next. You don't get to get the confirmation because of.
Either way, Joker's dead. Either way,
the Joker is dead and his body is left there, and then he sets the corpse on fire. That it never gets biopsied or autopsied to confirm what the cause of death was.
Now, I think he did the fire as a distraction and as a screw you to Joker. I don't think he did it to cover his tracks. I think it was done entirely as, again, just as a distraction.
Yeah. They just say that it's no suicide, according to the first appearance. It leads to both implications without confirming either. But they don't get to confirm it either because it's set on fire. And would anyone bother to do an autopsy on the Joker to confirm which?
Now we got the muscles or anything anymore. All right, freeze, you son of a bitch! Freeze! Cute gun. Stop laughing. Just an attack. Blacked out. Can't afford that. And I love how he uses the gun just because he needs something to shoot the C4.
Yeah, because not necessarily has a. It's easier, like even in video game forms, you shoot an explosive on the wall. You can't throw a rock and make it explode.
Yeah, you need the fire. You need the fire to do it. Yep, but I pulls them out of there and everything. Oh, like this woman showing her getting beaten up, and then Batman saving and everything. Like the man who assaulted you. Yeah. Oh no, this one. Yeah. Is there Batman one of the Bat Boys? Yeah.
Good question, but it looks like it's Batman, or could it be like so that it was? If it was him, he would be. Or this would be like flexing all the thing. That he is to be taken to the emergency care.
Or this happened earlier.
Yeah, or that happened earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh, now this is where we get one of the Bat Boys with the Nixons. Now this is the case where you realize it's going too far. This is where you realize this is going way too far.
Yeah.
We're building up because everything, because basically utilizing Superman as a weapon is now pushing everything overboard, leading to the nuke. Now I gotta say, all this stuff here by the end game, it makes sense because you need to put Gotham in a situation where it goes to utter chaos.
Yeah, and the Russians who fired them.
Yeah, like Clark, you idiot, you let them do it. I always knew you would. And we find out everything has got, it's gone so bad that even the shuttle up in space is going to burn up and burn up soon.
Oh, and then we have an astronaut writing a note that no one gets to read because it's obviously
It'll burn up. It'll burn up. It says right there, they're gonna burn up in the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Oh boy, then a plane is crashing.
Ooh.
And then the mutants, balls nasty. Again, this riot here makes sense. Again, great imaging.
Yeah,
but,
this is
okay. Tonight we are the law. Tonight I am not. Okay, can I get out of my way one thing? Peter Weller, I like him as RoboCop, and I thought he did a satisfying job as Batman. But when you compare to Michael Ironside,
yeah, it's some reviews I saw about that they made about the movie some years ago is that Peter Weller never actually got a good vocal balance between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, he didn't get to yell or anything. It was just this calm, monotone voice. That's probably the direction he was given, but I don't get it. That doesn't match the look at all.
Yeah. Was Andrea Romano still in charge of the casting?
Yeah, she was. But I don't think. But so yeah, that's just not like her.
Oh.
But why? But again, these guys. I don't think Bruce knew that they killed he killed anyone with that gun. Otherwise, I think he would beat the shit out of that guy.
Probably, yeah. He would.
Because they know cars.
It could be that the guy who this is unnamed in the blue jacket. He would probably be the okay. Better. Okay, not killing anymore, and better and hope to God Batman never learns that he killed him with it.
Because I know Linkar brings that up again. Linkar's going to the assumption that Batman knew, and clearly he couldn't have known. But again, all this stuff, the riots and everything, them stopping, but then he's too big. She realized that Batman's the only one who can bring order. Oh, and then Superman. I both like and hate this scene.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole idea of Superman absorbing all of the sunlight from plant life, he's never done that before, but I can see why that'd be an interesting idea.
You kind of all the plants around. That's
they like that guy again.
That if this was something that Superman could do at all, that would be like. It's like.
Do you think this was the same guy?
Interesting that Poison Ivy was not included in the comic.
That's true. I gotta say, do you think this was the same guy from earlier?
It
looks like him.
Looks like, but the other guy had a.
I like also you have all these different people
kind of less hair on the sides. By the way, there's some theorization that this guy was also characterized in the Dark Knight on the two ferries as the one who on the civilian ferries with the detonator.
Maybe.
Yeah. That some people have been theorizing that it was the same guy.
I love also
or a Nolan version of him.
Yep, I also love it. She's like, he just wouldn't shut up. Guess I just lost control. I've been having nightmares about the bomb and all. I like again how they're doing this in retrospect. The news reports, and we see then what happened beforehand.
That's true. It's easier to do that or like that than to in real time go from person to person and see how they are going.
Oh, again, awesome! Does everyone just calmed everyone down and everything? Of course, he's like, he broke 3 ribs and this brace isn't for laughs. Who gave him the right? Who gave you the right to be to riot?
Yeah.
Or the fact that
actually, now that I think about it, it's probably easier also to try. It's always hard to try to make some grand scene where something happens without putting the work into it. So it could be that Frank wanted to show the illustrations of how it happened, And then when it came to like dialogue scenes where Batman would speak or do something
Yeah,
else,
better do it in retrospect than to do it in the moment. But the fact that Gordon thinks that that's Sarah at first, but then Sarah showed up, turns out forgot to get the milk.
Yeah.
One more thing. But then also the fact
Sarah
that
isn't even shown properly, just in silhouettes and mentioned.
Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Bush, and I think it's to imply that Reagan died.
Huh.
I think.
Bush.
Because Bush was the VP, I believe.
Huh.
Yeah, H.W. Bush, or Bush Sr.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to tell because he's in the back.
Yeah.
But we get Green Arrow, of course, and basically showing that the government is embarrassed. The government's embarrassed by what they by that Batman was able to regain order where they haven't been able to do it anywhere else. Oh, wait, there's Reagan again. So he says, I'm still the president. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's still the face on some kind of CGI background. It's
hard to say if that's supposed to be. Now, to be fair, it's probably, since he is the VP, that's probably why he's talking to Clark while Reagan's doing this. So who can say, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, the fact that you have Ollie say, you've gotten too, like, what you did back in the old days, that's fine, but you can't do that anymore. You're being too loud, too noisy. They have to kill you to stop you. And this sets everything up then for what's to come. Where? Crime Alley. Wearing the suit, a bloody walking hospital bed. That's enough, Alfred. They're building up to the fight, the big fight. And I say I love the animation on the actual fight. I loved it.
Oh, that's actually then where that it's gonna when I eventually get all the stuff written, and then when I have to rewatch both movies to record it and record the footage to edit with, then it's gonna be. I can talk more about it then.
Yep. You're going to die or what? Figure I will. But yeah, it's like he is. You have to be up to full speed to dodge him. He isn't. I watched them kick him around for a minute. I've had worse times. But then see Alfred building up. Alfred hasn't had much to do in this story.
That's probably why he's also set to die.
Yep, as the timer's counting. Isn't tonight a school night? Oh, and then here's the big moment. Now you gotta remember this though. The whole point of this was not to beat Superman.
Yeah.
Or not to kill him.
It was positive to go down fighting.
And to make a point. The whole thing was basically suicide by cop. Yeah, remember, that was the whole point of this. It was meant to be suicide by cop.
True.
Bruce, this is idiotic. I just broke 3 of your ribs. By love, I was like, oh no. Ollie, I know. If Clark figures out why you're here, a little acid look how Bruce is actually desperate.
Niche.
I think, Ollie, I finally got him angry. It's like, crap. But then, it wasn't easy to synthesize, Clark. Took years and cost a fortune. Lucky I had both. And down here, Spud, figure we got all week. Hi-ho, goddamn silver! Bruce, your heart. You're beginning to get the idea. This is the end for both of us. We could have changed the world. Now look at us. I've become a political liability, and you're a joke. I want you to remember, Clark, in all the years to come, in your most private moment, I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you. And then Alfred dies from a heart attack or stroke.
Yeah. Both of them technically die.
But he actually died.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch him. Like, son of a bitch, I know who killed him. Selena, this is no good. Can't believe he had the nerve to come here. All this stuff, everything's been withdrawn. But then, beep, beep. I love that wink. My timing wasn't quite precise enough. Clark heard.
Weird how in the upper they say that body was claimed by only living relative, a distant cousin.
Which is obviously what they faked her to be as. By the way, that was the first thing Robin told me when she dug me up. Not that it mattered. He'd have guessed sooner or later. He knows how good I am.
Batman actually has a cousin.
Yeah, well, yeah. By the way, Clark, with a wink, Clark proved Oliver right. He'll leave me alone now. And now in return, I'll stay quiet. So, like, not for long, of course.
Yeah, 3 years according to Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Yeah, but again, it's like, where do you stand on this ending about him being ready to train them all as a secret army? I remember Lee Cara had a problem with this.
It's pretty much goes against also to what he is trying to build the army to fight against, because outside of Two-Face, Joker, and Two-Face and Joker, there were not exactly many villains shown to be still out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank obviously compensated for that with Luthor and Brainiac in the Strikes Again.
Well, and that's why he built up the Superman. That's why.
Yeah, but
because it made sense. To be honest, it made sense. Would you agree with that? It made sense to build up the Superman. Who else would be the biggest thing for Batman to punch?
Yeah, it would be, but also to figure out that. Yeah, why would they? Also making Superman to be there also to be punched.
Exactly.
Why? That other than the making other than that's making Batman and Superman fight in the end, they could have also build up to other points of, or if there were still villains around, or show that the government was also somewhat harboring or working with.
Again, for what this was, there's a reason why to set a standard. But again, the problem was this, just like with Watchmen, people learn the wrong lessons. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I can. Not the whole thing about Batman didn't actually win against Superman there. Also, people like to say that he was holding him there and then died.
He was.
Not to mention, if he got to walk away from it, that would have been a victory.
No, he had to fake his death. And that's the only reason why Clark stopped. Yeah, and he said like, "Ollie, I've gotten him angry."
Yeah.
No, that's all.
That's one of the things I actually look better in BVS, that Superman actually managed to talk him out of it. Even if you want to laugh at the whole Martha situation, and you actually need to also acknowledge the whole thing that in the fight and everything else he said, you are letting him kill. As in, Superman, Batman is allowing the bad guys kill a civilian who is blackmailed in there. Superman actually managed to make Batman forfeit the fight. That's something I want to see as an improvement to this.
Now, I would say this as well, though. When you really think about it, since Batman technically, he made a point, but he didn't fully win. Has Batman ever truly won any of these fights?
No, let's go
except for Strikes Again.
He endured in the fight. He managed to stay. And
he started to win to a point. To a point, he started to win. Would you agree
that can Batman win a fight against this character? Instead of asking that, let's say, how long could Batman be able to endure in a fight against this and this character before he would eventually lose?
Yeah, the only time he definitively beat him was in Strikes Again, but we don't even count that.
Yeah, because it also had Atom fighting with him, the Flash fighting with him.
Yeah, and then Batman just finished him off.
Yeah.
That's all he did was Batman just finished him off by pounding on him with those gauntlets. But it's like, but here, yes, famous moment in everything. But at the same time, and yes, he used the kryptonite, but you gotta remember this was synthetic kryptonite, which has later been made clear would not fully kill him. It will leave him open. It will leave him vulnerable. But also, Bruce and Clark was not here to kill him. Yeah, that's the other thing people forget. People forget that. Batman and Superman is never, and when a lot of these fights, Superman's either not there to kill him or he's fighting for the mind control.
And when it's mind control, it's usually one-hit fight.
Or Batman's running, like in Hush.
Yeah, like in Hush, and then not to mention Scott Snyder's Endgame, that was also running and trying to literally do everything to.
Yeah, people forget that. Has Batman ever properly beat Superman? In a direct fight? No. And again, the whole point of this fight, the only point Bruce winning this fight was not to beat Clark. It was, again, suicide by cop and to make a point.
Yeah.
That's it. And again, people I think people forget that. I think here's the other thing is we got to talk about Zack Snyder. Because let's be honest, you can see so much of what he took from here, but I think even Zack took the wrong lessons, in my opinion. I think, in my opinion, when you look at how Zack's adoration for this, I always looks at it on the surface level. The badass, edgy, dark and gritty stuff. But in my opinion, I think Zack.
That's if we just look at BVS and and how it was there, but ignore where the character was supposed to go in the future movies.
Yes, if you look at just BVS.
Like, most people just think about what happened before the Martha moment and that Batman. But they don't think about the whole thing that came after it and how he was trying to become better.
And I understand that.
And like I also say, Superman won the fight in BVS by managing to talk Batman into forfeiting.
Help Martha. Which I'll be honest, I get it. It's the way it was executed was hokey, but I didn't hate it because it made sense. They both have the same name, Martha.
Yeah, but even if it wasn't named Martha, you still had the Batman is allowing the bad guys kill an innocent civilian whose name just happens to be Martha. Even if Superman had just said, "You're letting him kill," insert a random name here, Batman would have still stopped and focused on the what does that mean instead of why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
Yeah, instead it would have been, what does that mean? Why? What does that mean? Instead of he screaming that instead of what is that?
I know, but of course,
Martha, why is he he accused of killing someone else who is not even here and who even is he talking about?
And how do I know?
The whole thing, and there's also why he said Martha instead of Mom. But it's also the secret identity. You don't call it your you don't express specific details about that.
It's the writers doing that because the writers know they both have a mom named Martha. Superman wouldn't know that, so why would he say Martha? Because he wouldn't know that would cause a reaction in Batman.
Even then, there's the whole thing. He didn't know if it had that reaction. He was just trying to say Batman is allowing to having Luthor and Anatoly Knaisev or KGBs if you want to go that way, allowing them to kill this innocent civilian whose name just happens to be Martha. It could have been literally any other name. Batman would have still stopped when he was being accused of letting someone commit a murder.
It's the reversal of their first meeting in Man of Steel. It's the reversal. Where Batman said, "You do anything and a bomb will go off and on an innocent."
Yeah, that's pretty much what you go with that.
It's the reversal of it.
Yeah. And even then, you don't need to have their moms be the same name. You can just go with that one.
Yeah, but again, like I said, though, I do think, and I get what Zach was going up to a point, but when you look at a lot of his stuff, it's clear. I think in my opinion, it's clear. He took a lot, and he's just a big fanboy of not the nuances of Dark Knight Returns, but again, just the surface.
Yeah. When I did my review on BVS, well, it was 3 years ago by now.
I gotta go rewatch that. That.
Yeah. I also brought out the other inspirations like the Starlin and Wolfman's era also in surrounding the death in the family with how Batman was before it and after it, and
which we later realized it wasn't
the whole
that
thing
big.
that Superman played Tim Drake's role in helping Batman come back from the dark place he was.
Which we realized also, though. Remember, we also realized there really wasn't that much in that in between time.
Yeah, not much, but he was still in a place where he needed to be pulled out of.
Well, yeah, but yeah, it didn't last that long. Again, isn't that so funny? We all assumed that took forever when it really didn't.
Yo.
But like I said, this is still a classic story, and the animated version was very well handled. BVS, again, I'm repeating it, but Zach,
I'm still gonna see it as an original story that took influence and inspirations.
Exactly.
Snyder has also said that he would like to do the actual adaptation at some point.
I'd be curious.
You can't call BVS an adaptation of Dark Knight Returns because
I agree.
We're still missing Joker, Two-Face, mutants, and the other cops, no Robin, and so on.
I get that, but I'm saying no. Even the influence he had from Dark Knight Returns tells me he didn't get it because there's nothing in there that made this feel like this Batman. It felt more like, I'll be honest, it felt like his Batman before the realization felt closer to Dark Knight Strikes Again. Just not as crazy, but still.
Yeah, that would have, like I said in the beginning, it could have helped if there was narration from him. Like there was in the beginning there was a time above, a time before, there were perfect things, diamond absolutes, but things fall, and so on. If the movie had more of that to showcase his mentality in different situations, that could have helped sell the whole thing. And you also said narration is underappreciated, and it would have helped elevate Batman's mental state or the separation between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like there's the whole, like with the nightmare he had about the bat creature coming out of his mother's grave. That showing that Batman is going, the balance between Batman and Bruce Wayne was going so far that it was destroying the roots of the very reason why Batman exists.
Exactly. Now, I will also say this, when, again, back to the whole Batman killing. The fact that people use this as an example, again, missed the point.
And it was, why do I go with it again? It's an example of why not, of this is why it shouldn't be done, and as an example of justification why not.
Look at what happened. Look what happened after it happened. Look what happened. Yindel used it. She used it, and it made things even harder for Batman. It brought the government in. That's why the government first were coming in beforehand, or having Superman warn them, was because of what happened with Joker.
True, that did happen.
Again, people, it's the problem.
But also the whole thing about in BVS Batman, the only times when it would have gone to the point where he would actually commit murder or kill someone would have been with Superman, and he chickened out of it. And then the whole recreation with I'm gonna say KGBs and Mark End. I also like to see that he tried. I made a video 2 years ago. Tristan went over it. I showed that there were out of all the options he could have shot at KGBs, he could only shoot at the propane tank because support arm, he still has the trigger arm ready and could still shoot. Legs and a torso, head, those are instant kills.
Yeah. But again, it's also...
You could say that he tried not to kill. He tried to keep everyone in the room alive, but he failed. At least he tried.
Exactly, but they don't... But here's the thing, and I get what you're saying, but the scene doesn't treat it like that. They just treat it as, ooh, kill. I think that's the other problem. They don't give a chance to react to the scenes. They don't. Thus, it gives this misinformation that we won't ever know. Because here's the other thing I've noticed with a lot of Snyder's fans, and I'm not saying it about you, I'm just saying this in general, a lot of them interpret his scenes and then treated their interpretations as facts.
Well, that's also...
Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that?
That's an unfortunate thing that also happens.
A lot of them treat it like, or they take what could have been, like Jared bringing up about, but he could have backed out with Jimmy. He's like, but that's not what happened. Don't bring up what could have happened with Jimmy. Look at what did happen, and don't presume you know what Snyder was going to do when he was proud that he killed Jimmy.
Yes,
he was proud
at the time. Has he said so far recently about regretting it or doing it any other way? Or no, it doesn't matter. But actually, there's also something that while I'm looking at the Green Lantern stuff, I have been also doing, and also I haven't started to actually do anything with the Secret Origin and the 2011.
We're gonna get to that eventually.
Yeah, that eventually. Yeah. By the way, I have a version of the physical copy that has Ryan Reynolds on the cover.
Yep, I got the original hardcover.
Yeah, that's how I noticed also that it wasn't just with the DCEU, but apparently the Warner Bros. This is an assumption. They already, before Snyder and the DCEU, they wanted to rush into better stories without building up to them.
Oh yeah,
even with First Flight, that tried to be a prequel to Sinestro Corps War, and the 2011 Green Lantern movie that also ended with a post-credit scene of Sinestro getting a yellow ring. And
to be fair, we don't know if he would have formed the Corps or if he would have just been himself. We don't know that.
No, but obviously, the Warner Bros. When they wanted to do those movies, they wanted to get to the popular stories as quickly as possible. It wasn't just starting the DCU and rushing to the Justice League. They clearly wanted to do the same thing with other.
I agree with that. That's why I don't put all the blame on Zack. I want to make this clear. I don't put all the blame on Zack. I just put a lot of it on it because I'm so tired of him being propped up as this, like messiah of movie making.
Not even a messiah of movie making, but everything being compared back to him and no one else. And even to those people who dislike him and want to prop up those other works.
Oh yeah,
take your own advice, move on from him, and put this energy you have to the current project.
Now, I would say this. I'm also tired of people trying to go after Gunn and doing everything they can to just derail by saying boycott the movie. No one should see that. It's also just as bad. Saying boycott.
When it comes to Gunn and his formerly known as Superman Legacy movie, I'm still gonna go to it with zero expectations and let the movie on its own be
exactly like let's wait.
What I'm gonna go with it.
Stop trying to derail. And I'm really getting just fed up about what could have been with Zack. It's like it's over. Move on.
Yeah, I keep telling that to both sides of the scale I made for the VST Elite.
Yeah, it's over. Pray that he might do a comic. Stop praying for a movie.
Yo.
It's not, I have to say, it's not going to happen.
Batman 1989 and Superman 78 could have those comic book.
And Wonder Woman 77 and
Batman 66. If those could happen, then the DC and Snyderverse, those could also happen.
There's always
down the line, maybe.
But there's always been talks about that. There's constantly been talks about it. But again, it's like focus on Snyder's current stuff. How many people are talking about Rebel Moon? Not many.
Yeah, and those who do, they are actually somewhat few between. I can't actually do anything, but I watched the first that when it came out on Netflix right before I had to cancel it for budgetary reasons. And and the Scargiver, when that comes out, I probably need to.
Well, look, I want to make this clear. I don't have anything wrong with Zack himself. It's the cult of personality, and I did not care for his interpretations. I will be perfectly clear. Fair. I did not care for them because it's not like it was Superman. It's not my Superman.
Yeah, but it was still.
You saw how I was going over with the death and the world was out and returned.
Yes.
That's my Superman.
Yeah.
You don't see any of that in Zack's stuff.
Yeah, because Superman didn't get that far.
Yeah. But I think I told you this before. This whole he was building up to it. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing when you take multiple movies before.
Huh? Did you mute?
My mic.
Okay.
Sorry. As I was saying, that was my fault. Where did I get cut off at?
Somewhere around start over with what you were saying.
Wait. What was I saying? Geez, don't you hate when you get thrown off with that?
You.
Yeah, wait. Oh yes, now I remember.
Yeah.
The big problem when it comes to doing saying you're going to take multiple movies to get to that point, one, you're banking on the idea that you'll get there, and two, you're building up a fan base who's going to be looking at the pre-established one, and I'm sorry, I don't think they'll accept it if you get to that point.
Well, the CW managed to get through that by starting out with the. Actually, no, they started out with a Batman wannabe Green Arrow and a Flash who needs to be told constantly how his own powers work, and that's pretty much how they were at the end of their own seasons too.
Exactly. Like I said, so even Zach could keep saying it. Doesn't mean the fan base would have accepted it. They might claim they do it because they want to see more of it, but I think deep down, many of them have shown they prefer ass kicking, snapping necks, and all that stuff. Superman.
What multiple necks? He just did it once and didn't.
Oh yeah, okay. Never... I was being funny. With that. But you know what I mean? Because there are some people who look at Wonder Woman chops off heads. These are the same guys.
One head also.
Yeah, but you have that image still that people then show saying her holding up Jeff Johns and all that, those heads. It's like
those are exactly the people you need to ignore in catering what it is.
Oh no, I get that, but I'm just saying. But the fact that you have people like that who are and cater to that type of stuff. Those are the people who would never accept a Superman because basically they feel like Superman's been brought down to our level. And I think that's the other problem. I look at Snyder's stuff, it felt like it was bringing Superman down to a grounded level so people could relate to him, when the whole idea of Superman is that he's supposed to inspire you, not relate to. There's a big difference. You know what I mean?
People were inspired, but those people are also ignored.
Oh no! And I'm acknowledging
technically that's the whole thing that can be allowed with a supporting side character, which is pretty much what the MCU did with Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I think that's the other problem. It's, again, a lot of the writing, the DCEU was not built on a solid structure. It was built on a foundation of sand, if you ask me, from the get-go.
Yeah, thanks a lot, baby.
Yeah. And I think that's why I have more faith with Gunn, because I think he's giving a much more solid structure. You have it be it's an already established universe, and we're just getting introduced to it, as opposed to let's start from ground zero and work our way up. And I've realized with MCU got lucky because they didn't have Disney hovering over them, and they were an independent studio. So they could play it much more with risks and everything. And yeah.
See, hope we get there without too many people managing to.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's why I feel something like the DC universe. If you're going to build up to it, you got to build it up right, and not. And starting up with Superman, with the Kryptonian invasion, was the worst starting point because you're setting things up in a dark spot already.
On some point of view, you could say that. You know how it was that Donner did Superman 1 and Superman 2 kind of back to back, and then made it differently. The thing that Man of Steel, unfortunately, probably how Nolan and Goyer wrote it was that they put both of those movies together.
Yes, exactly. They put both of those movies together, and because again, you had the first one that set things up very well, properly, a fully realized Superman, and he just dealt with Lex Luthor, but it was still grounded enough, and then he dealt with people at his own power right off the bat. That's usually what you do. The first movie sets up the world. The second movie sets up the stakes. I mean, look at what happened. Look at what Batman Begins.
Yeah, that's what that was also. Hopefully that wasn't another thing that Warner Bros. Wanted to also rush in.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not, but it's
like I said, that was the big problem. Would you agree with that? Starting up with the Kryptonian invasion and the devastating metropolis, that's like basically opening up with Age of Ultron devastating that country.
Joo, could be there too.
It's like am I right? It's like it's no different than that. You're opening up with a devastating event. Look at what happened. Look at what happened with Iron Man. It just blew up one of his buildings and jungled around the freeway, but nothing much. We didn't get that big stuff until Avengers.
Or actually,
Thor didn't. Thor didn't really even. It was still stuck in a small town. You know what I mean? Like the devastation, the damage, and everything was not that major up until Avengers. And even with Superman, the Donner movie, the devastation. Well, it got major with the but it caused a bit of an earthquake and everything. But Superman stopped it before it got that bad.
Yeah. Oh, for the past 2 hours.
Yep, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. This became a rant stuff. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But
says actually about the source material and the works it inspired that it makes such a good conversation and topic to go with.
Yeah, because it did. This set a lot of groundwork. But like, would you agree though? It also was a case where people got the answer but didn't understand the question.
Yeah. It not to mention it was still a story that should have been an ending.
An ending, not a beginning. I mean, I get why they wanted a sequel. Why wouldn't you want a sequel, right?
Yeah, hard too bad that the sequel was. Well, Frank Miller was still recovering from 9/11 when he did the sequel.
Oh no! It happened. He started before 9/11.
But he was writing it while it was happening, also.
Well, by the time he got to issue 3 of it, or issue 3, because there's that one point where, it ended at one point where Batman said, "Give him hell," and then book 3 opens up with Metropolis being leveled.
Yeah.
See, all this here, that's when Frank did. So he had gone through book 2, then 9/11 happened when book 3 was being worked on, the grand finale. But anyway, so Dark Knight Returns, a classic. Definitely a classic, some of Frank's best, but it set a bad precedent, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's the allegory I thought also somewhat brought up with Alan Moore, like an artist who made 2 amazing tricks without telling people, don't try this at home.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Pika. Thank you guys, everyone else. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Yeah, and may your heart be your guiding key.